Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. My name is Scott Reisch, and this is Crime Talk, the most fact-driven, unbiased true crime channel on the entire internet. Straight to the docket. First, an example of when the hunter becomes the hunted. Second, Ghislaine Maxwell says the United States government is slow in turning over her discovery. Third, an update on the South Dakota Attorney General who struck a man and killed him while driving home from a political fundraiser. Next, the extradition goes forward for Kyle Rittenhouse, an unboxing, and finally, our dumb criminal contestant of the day. Let's talk about it. Good day, Crime Talk aficionados. This is Crime Talk, and my name is Scott Reisch. Thanks for watching. Now, if we haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell so that you receive notifications of when we go live or put up new content. Now, we won't be going live tonight because there is, well, what do they call that thing? Oh, yeah, the election. I think most people will be watching that and probably not watching us. So we'll schedule it for another night. Let's get straight to the docket. An example of when the hunter becomes the hunted. And the case comes from here in the state of Colorado. The 13th Judicial District Attorney has struck a deal and has pled guilty to possession of a controlled substance, unlawful conduct of public property, and second-degree official misconduct. Now, she was given a 2-year supervised probationary deal, no felony convictions for her. But Miss Luton, who was 41, was indicted originally with 3 drug counts and 1 count of first-degree criminal misconduct. She was accused of taking a bottle of prescription opioid painkillers from one of her employees and ingesting the pills at her home. She also got in trouble for the misconduct part because there was an investigation going on, so she actually suspended her lead investigator as well as her lead attorney in the case because they refused to tell her what was being investigated. It's always the cover-up, ladies and gentlemen. You can't do it. You can't pressure people into doing something like that. Now, that sounds reminiscent of what lots of people do when they're accused of a crime. They try to talk to people, figure out what's going on. But when you're a public official, you can't do that. That's called tampering. Obviously, we wish Miss Luton well if she has substance abuse issues. Let's hope she gets the help. The problem is, if she had substance abuse issues, 1, she's a practicing attorney, and 2, she was the elected district attorney. That's a problem. You can't go around prosecuting people when you can't follow the same laws that you are enforcing. I understand we're all hypocrites. It's just a matter of degree. But she should have resigned if she couldn't control herself by taking drugs from a different employee so that she could ingest them at home. In fact, her words were, "Could you hook a sister up?" We wish Miss Luton well. Hopefully she completes her drug treatment and her 48 hours of useful public service, which was part of the disposition in this particular case. Additionally, she's going to have to deal with the attorney regulation people as it relates to these charges as well. Unfortunately, attorneys have a very high rate of drug and alcohol abuse because of the stress involved in this particular job. I have seen it destroy many a fine legal career over the years. Problem is, people have a drink to go home. They have a stressful day. They have 2 or 3 drinks. Next thing you know, 3 becomes the norm, and they just can't seem to stop. One of the reasons why I only partake of fine cigars to relax in the evening and don't do anything like alcohol. It's just a personal choice. I've just seen it ruin so many lives. Next on the docket, Ghislaine Maxwell says the U.S. government is slow in turning over her discovery. Well, before we get to that story, let's do the Ghislaine Maxwell suicided calendar update. Now, I know suicided is not a word, but that was the name that was coined when Maxwell's ex-boyfriend, that guy named Jeff, wound up deceased in his jail cell, and many people thought that it was not suicide, but it was murder. That's right. So suicided became the word of the day. And so we started the Ghislaine Maxwell Suicided Watch. And today is 124 days that Ghislaine Maxwell has been able to make it without being suicided. And that 124 days can be converted into 178,560 minutes, 2,976 hours, or 17 weeks and 5 days. Ghislaine, hang in there. Now, the issue before Ghislaine's Maxwell case is that the prosecutors have said that they were going to turn over some 1.3 million documents from devices seized related to Miss Maxwell's ex-boyfriend's case, that guy named Jeff. And the defense says, hey, we need this stuff because we have a trial coming up in July, and how are we going to be able to review this, inventory, document, analyze, see if motions need to be drafted if we don't have the evidence? Remember, when the United States government indicts somebody, they should have all of their ducks in a row and say, oh, here you go, defendant. Here's your indictment, and here's all the discovery that's coming along with it. Here's it on disk. Here's a big stack of it like they used to do in the old days where they would drop off literally 20 boxes of documents in your particular case. Now it seems like more and more, particularly in the age of COVID, everything is kind of piecemealed. The United States attorneys, most of them are working from home, not in the office. Their techs aren't working. Things are just slow. But this is a high-profile case. They should have had their ducks in a row. Turn it over. And usually, if the government doesn't want to turn something over, it means they're hiding something. Just my experience. Ladies and gentlemen, in litigation, it's not about what the government gives you, or in civil litigation, it's not about what the other side gives you. You're fighting over what they're withholding. What are they hiding? That's usually what it comes down to. If the government has their bulletproof case, all they need to do is simply give them everything. Give them everything. As my boss used to say, I'll give you whatever you want, and I'm still going to convict the defendant. Bottom line. And of course, the government says, we have turned things over as the case goes on, and that they're working diligently to continue to meet the discovery deadlines in this particular case. Now, the judge can really say, listen, government, here's the rule. If you don't turn the discovery over by this particular date, you won't be able to use it. Judges usually don't do that. The remedy is a continuance if the defense is going to be prejudiced. But at a certain point, the government just can't continue to delay, because they also have that obligation to turn over exculpatory information pursuant to Brady v. Maryland, the United States Supreme Court case that says that everyone is entitled to have all the information that is exculpatory. And I would bet that some of these 1.2 million pages of documents, 1.3 million pages of documents, is exculpatory to Ghislaine Maxwell. But you don't know until it's turned over. So government, get to it. Now, on another note, guess whose house is getting a makeover? That's right, that guy named Jeff. And remember, we're not saying the last name. Why? Because the YouTube censors don't like that. It flags when we say that last name, and then the videos don't get to be monetized. Well, anyway, a real estate developer by the name of Todd Glazer says that he has inked a contract to buy former residence of that guy named Jeff. And once it closes next month, he's planning to demolish the home and build a new 14,000 square foot mansion. Glazer, the developer, apparently paid $18 million for the property. The original asking price was $21.9. So he got the property to tear it down as basically a scrape property, scrape it and build new for $18 million. What a deal. I'm sure Palm Beach will be happy to see the guy named Jeff's house go away. Next on the docket, let's take a quick recess. Please go to crimetalksearch.com, sign up for your background subscription service today. I'm telling you, we used this just yesterday for a case, and we found a treasure trove of information on a witness in a very serious case. You can find out similar types of information that you need to know when you're dealing with people, whether you're going into a business relationship with somebody or whether it's a personal relationship. Do a background check. What have you got to lose? Nothing. You go there, you fill out the name, a search is generated. You're asked some questions to narrow things down, and millions of public records are searched and a report is generated. You're going to get information regarding the individual that you searched. And remember, this is all done anonymously, but you're going to get information regarding criminal background records, property records, bankruptcies, judgments. You're going to get marital records as well. You're going to find out what emails, phone numbers, and social media are associated with this person so that you can go look and check them out. One of the 12 undeniable rules of life from a criminal defense attorney: most people have a second life. Everybody has a secret. Go find out what that person's secret is. Go to crimetalksearch.com and sign up today. All right, next on the docket. Remember the case that we brought to you, seems like at least a month or so ago, regarding the South Dakota Attorney General, a guy by the name of Jason Ravsborg. Well, he struck and killed a pedestrian in a very dark road earlier this year, and that was apparently on Highway 14. And on September 12th, he struck 55-year-old Joseph Bover, ultimately killing Mr. Bover. There were immediate cries for a cover-up, and the good Attorney General stated that he had thought that he had hit a deer. The next morning, however, when he went back with his chief of staff to find the deer, he just happened to notice that they found, oh, that's right, Mr. Bover's body, and it was found the next day laying in the scene. Now, of course, with all things with anyone in political office, the investigations are very long and very thorough. But I guarantee you, if this was you or me, we would have been charged with reckless driving resulting in death or some equivalent in the state in which you reside. But since this gentleman was the Attorney General, the highest law enforcement officer in the state of South Dakota, it's a little tough to do that investigation. So they have the South Dakota criminal investigation, as well as officers from Wyoming assisting in the investigation. But what they have been able to report thus far was that the good Attorney General was distracted. That's right, distracted while driving. Unfortunately, we don't have any sort of blood alcohol level because that's right, the Attorney General went home after striking the suspected deer and didn't return until the following day. Color me suspicious, and maybe it's just because it's that time of the year, Election Day, but I think something smells funny, don't you? Let me know in the comments below. I think the good Attorney General should resign and charges should be brought forthwith if they're going to charge them. And if they're not, they need to thoroughly explain why. Next on the docket, remember that guy, Kyle Rittenhouse? He's that young man that was accused of fatally shooting 2 people and seriously injuring a third in protests in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Well, he has been trying to fight extradition from Illinois, where he resides. Ultimately, their argument that was made on behalf of Kyle Rittenhouse was rejected by the court. Basically, Rittenhouse's attorneys said, hey, don't send him back to Wisconsin because he fears for his safety. The judge said, no, you can deal with that when you get to Wisconsin. Additionally, the attorneys for Mr. Rittenhouse said, hey, the case is so weak against our client, it was self-defense, and therefore you shouldn't send him to Wisconsin. And the judge says, not my say. There's a valid governor's warrant. Remember, we've talked about this before, where the governor of Wisconsin says, I have a warrant, and here's the official piece of paper, and it's got all these fancy seals on it. And then the governor of Illinois says, fine, I've got your sealed document. I'm going to issue my own sealed document and honor your sealed document and send the defendant back to Wisconsin. That's what's supposed to happen. The judge in Illinois has nothing to do with the weight of the evidence, the likelihood of conviction, or anything along that. It was simply a stall tactic. I told you that at the time. I've never heard that argument made, at least not successfully. I just can't recall anybody making that argument because it's so ridiculous. Well, needless to say, Mr. Rittenhouse has appeared virtually at a court, and his bond in Wisconsin is now set at $2 million. We'll see if his family or friends, a lot of people are supporting the young Mr. Rittenhouse And we've talked about this before. We've done videos about it. He may have a case of self-defense. When you really break it down, his team, his legal team, has put a lot of work in and accumulated a lot of video explaining in their version what happened and what didn't. Would have been a hell of a lot easier had he just not put himself in that bad situation, even being there and being armed. But that will ultimately be for a jury to decide. But let me know, do you think that case should go forward at all? Now, next on the docket, we're going to do something we've never done on Crime Talk. This is a Crime Talk first, and it is an unboxing. What are we unboxing? Well, guess what? It took a little while, and they're a little busy at YouTube, but look, they finally sent the plaque. Let's take a look. And for the unboxing, I will use my miniature United States Marine Corps officer sword, a Mameluke sword, which is also my envelope opener, to unseal the box. Let's take a look together. So for the first time, we're opening it up. Ooh, with a nice little letter. It says, "You've done something that very few YouTube creators accomplish. You had an astonishing 100,000 people subscribe to your channel." Well, isn't that nice? Thanks, YouTube. Here it is. And I figured since this couldn't have happened without all of you, that's why we opened it together. Thank you, thank you, thank you for watching. Next on the docket, our dumb criminal contestant of the day. This dumb criminal, allegedly, that's right, we'll give him the presumption of innocence, Richard Rivers, walked into a pet store, grabbed a bag of birdseed, and then reached into a large cage and removed one of the small parrots that was in the pet store. Now, when the employees tried to intervene, deputy says that Mr. Rivers put the bird in his pocket and fled in a nearby vehicle. Of course, the deputies were able to track down Mr. Rivers because of the car as well as the surveillance video, and they were ultimately able to recover the bird. It's unsure exactly why Mr. Rivers wanted the bird and why he couldn't just pay for it. But needless to say, now he is in jail, unable to make his $500 bond, and he still doesn't have the bird. So, Mr. Rivers, you are our dumb criminal contestant of the day. Congratulations. Now, we won't send you our YouTube plaque, but if you are crowned the dumb criminal contestant of the week, we will send you a Crime Talk mug. There you go. Now, of course, if you all would like to have your own mug or any other Crime Talk merchandise, hit the link below to Teespring. It'll take you there. You can order it. And why do you want to order it now? That's right. Christmas is coming. It will be here before you know it. And let's face it, if your significant other, spouse, is responsible for this, you need to do it now. Just do it. Put it under the tree. Wrap it up for them. It'll save everyone a lot of trouble and heartache. And besides, who doesn't want cool Crime Talk gear? Thanks for watching. Hopefully it is a safe and uneventful election tonight. But remember, let's not go out there and destroy other people's property, ladies and gentlemen. That's a crime. That's your free legal advice of the day. Don't destroy other people's property. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow on Crime Talk.